Musician Mr Corr and geopolitical expert Ian R. Crane presented the Final Meltdown at the Lisdoo. An audience gathered to hear presentations from both men, during which they discussed matters such as the 9/11 attacks, the influence of corporations on global politics, and hidden organisations that they argue facilitated the global economic downturn. The Dundalk Democrat sat down with Mr Corr to learn more about the presentation and his involvement.
My presentation involves giving an overview of what I believe is going on in the world today, behind the movie that's presented to us via the television set. I cover false flag terrorism, I cover the people that are really in control behind the scenes, the shadow government, and I cover what their agenda is, where they're moving us towards basically a one world government. I get into how they're controlling people, how they're controlling people by getting into their pockets, and also how society has been dumbed down, not just by the media, but how we're being gently manipulated chemically and biologically. It was 9/11 that caught my attention, and when I started studying it out of curiosity, I discovered there to be hundreds, if not thousands, of anomalies that tore apart the official government story in relation to 9/11. And one of the main things that the most recent information in relation to 9/11 is the fact that they found this high-energy pyrotechnic explosive in the dust, which gives obvious explanation to what certainly appeared to be controlled demolition of the Twin Towers and World Trade Center 7.
How did the explosives get into the building? Who gave the orders to plant the explosives, the nanothermite? What level of connection would be necessary to plan such a thing? Do you know who was in charge of the company, Securicom Stratesec, the company that was in charge of security at the World Trade Center on 9/11? None other than George Bush's younger brother, Marvin Bush. How convenient.
Ian R. Crane is an ex-oil company executive. He's an authority on deep geopolitics and alternative history. And he gives an excellent presentation, basically giving, similar to me, gives an overview of what's actually going on behind the scenes, with a special emphasis on the financial crisis.
You know, Zbigniew Brzezinski stated categorically on May the 15th of this year in a presentation to the Council on Foreign Relations, and he said, you know, one of the biggest obstacles to the establishment of the one world government is the rapid political awakening of the masses, which is why the agenda is being accelerated. Because they know this awakening is occurring, they know that people are starting to wake up to what they're doing, but they're not taking action yet. And we'll look at perhaps why that is as we go through.
As myself and Ian say, very important that people just don't blindly believe us, but that they go out and research this information for themselves. And when they discover it to be true, to share the truth, to first of all seek the truth and then to share it. People can get an awful lot more information if they go onto my website, jimcorr.com. I have a lot of great links there, a lot of great information as to what's really going on behind the scenes and the agenda. And I link to great websites as well. And of course, Ian R. Crane's website is highly informative. And there are many out there. Prisonplanet.com is a great one, which has been following the developments of the New World Order. It's very important that we use the internet as a research tool. Now, because we might not have it. It mightn't be such a free system as it is now, and very careful, of course. You have to wade through a lot of disinformation, but after a period of time with experience, you develop a decent level of discernment. After Dundalk tonight, I'll be speaking again in Galway. And then we're in Dublin on the 11th in the Ashling Hotel. And then we're going to come back and we're going to do additional dates. We haven't decided exactly when, but we're going to be going down to Cork and a couple of other places where actually there's an awful lot of speaking engagement requests coming in now, which is great. I just want to thank everybody who takes an interest in this information. I think it's very, very important that we understand what's going on for the sake of our children and theirs. They will certainly thank us for it. I think that the world is awakening to this agenda, which is great. There is a mass awakening happening, and so by seeking and by sharing the truth with other people, we can help to stave off and to ward off this global threat.
And I believe that, like Gandhi said, let us all become the change that we want to see in the world. Thank you very much.